The story of Pablo Escobar was given a rich dramatic effect thanks to the extensive investigation conducted by Netflix, as well as the artistic writing and directing of Brazilian filmmaker Jose Padilla. In this kind of political setting, perfection is unachievable, and the devil is in the details. We look at the story from points of view you might not have thought of, like the cartels and Escobar's point of view, as the only one left alive. We also look at the behind-the-scenes details and facts that have been over-dramatized. Be warned that there are spoilers in this video. These are the 5 secrets that Netflix is keeping about Don Pablo Escobar, who was the leader of the Medellin Cartel, the first narco-terrorist, and the richest criminal in history. 5. Escobars Recording. Pablo Escobar was a man who strongly believed in the importance of documenting all of his endeavors, to the point where he even videotaped his plantation while they were taking place. They were able to make a picture of Escobar that was pretty close to how he talked, dressed, and did things every day. In the film, Escobar thinks deeply about his war against the government, staring off into space and brooding. Actually, he contributed quite a bit to the success of the show. A presentation of his haciendas includes the use of some of the recordings that were made by the Medellin Cartel. If Pablo were on Twitter, he would have offered bribes to reporters or kidnapped them in order to get them to share his story. 4. Families. If you've seen the show, you're probably wondering where Pablo's brother was while the show was making him so angry. He was furious over the show. Pablo's brother, Roberto, served as the cartel's accountant up to Pablo's death. When a second accountant, Blackbeard, betrayed the cartel and was arrested for his actions, Roberto was not happy about the situation. He wanted $1 billion from Netflix in compensation for the use of his and his brother's picture without first contacting him or other members of the family. He offered to check the second season for mistakes before it was broadcast, but we are not certain that it worked. Other members of Pablo's family have cast doubt on his account of events surrounding the siege of the Palace of Justice and his subsequent death, but we'll get to that in a bit. 3. Pablo Escobar's brutality. The show makes it seem as though Pablo Escobar was a dreadful human being. According to Steve Murphy, before Pablo, law enforcement was not familiar with the concept of narco-terrorism. The goal of narco-terrorism is to change policies about illegal drugs by violent means. Murphy asserts that Pablo Escobar was the first narco-terrorist, and the show provides evidence of Escobar's involvement in terrorist activities. It is also revealed how simple Escobar's orders were. The interactions that Pablo has with other people appear to be harmless and have never resulted in anything significant, with the exception of the murders of Moncada and Galeano. In his private life, Pablo is a troubled individual who is married and has children. Sources close to Don Pablo said he would drill into the kneecaps of anyone who crossed him. The way in which his film portrays mules is unexplained. Pablo made use of human mules, and he ensured that they were compensated at all times. However, Pablo secretly smuggled cocaine into animals that were being shipped to Miami. In the years when Pablo was the 6th richest man in the world, Murphy and Peña worked as waiters at one of his parties. According to the informant, one of the other waiters stole some silverware. After hearing this, Pablo came up with the idea to duct tape the person's hands and then toss him into the pool. That was created by Paisa Robin Hood as a kind of entertainment for the guests who were attending the party. Number 2. La Catedral's Secrets. The show portrays Escobar's 5-star prison as being luxurious and filled with many of the drug lord's belongings. Nevertheless, it does not expose everything. La Catedral had more Escobar stuff. The film portrays Escobar leaving behind a photo book. The authors of Manhunters, Murphy and Peña, talk about discovering a film canister in Pablo Escobar's office garage. We worked on developing the film. With photographs of Escobar, we printed out wanted posters. Peña has copies of every wanted poster and story that has been written about him in Colombia in his files. When the enemies threatened, he would keep their threats. Peña claims that the toilets at La Catedral are spotless and have 3-inch walls because Escobar was a clean freak. The most disturbing item was a well-organized wardrobe full of sex toys, vibrating belts, lace, negligees, and letters from moms giving their girls to Pablo for sex. According to their book, Peña slept in Escobar's bed on more than one occasion. He had trouble falling asleep and spent the entire night tossing and turning. Number 1. Wagner Moura's drug position. Wagner nailed Pablo Escobar in Narcos. The Brazilian actor has been so closely associated with Escobar because of his performance in the role that his photographs come up when you search for his name online. After spending time in Escobar's company, Moura believes there should be a greater tolerance for the use of cocaine in society. If cocaine had been legalized, Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria would have been praised as a successful entrepreneur who started with little and helped those in need. The majority of the deaths that he ordered started with silencing authorities who wanted him to be held up or extradited. What are your thoughts on the information that has been kept a secret regarding Pablo Escobar and his life? If you enjoyed watching it, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Hope to see you in our next episode. Till then, goodbye and take care.